Welcome to day 426 of our DSO journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian. And remember, these videos are being sponsored by NFT Tech. They are an investor in DSOFi. So yesterday was DAODAO day. DAODAO is now in private beta. If you are an NFT holder, you now have access to the private beta. If you're not, you will soon get access once it launches out of private beta. But how did you think the launch went yesterday, Brian?
So it was a bit delayed. Um, it was supposed to happen at 3 p.m. Eastern time. It didn't really take place till 6 p.m. Um, they they basically the way they did it was they sent passwords privately to all the NFT holders. Um, and every password is individualized for the person. Uh, I assume you can share these passwords. Of course, they know you shared them because the password is likely linked to you. But I don't necessarily think they care if you share the
Wait, wait,
password.
wait,
I
wait,
think
wait,
they
wait,
want.
wait, stop. I actually heard Natter say, try not to share the password. He said, you're getting your own password, keep them private. So
Oh, well,
don't put
that's
false,
interesting.
don't
Yeah,
put false
but
information out there.
as you know, that's how like BitClout kind of took off too quickly. Um, I don't know. I mean, I'm expecting some people will share the password.
Honestly, I
Uh,
think they kind of hope like a few people share it just so a couple
slow
other people come on here and then
a
get some
slow
feedback.
trickle. I
Yeah.
think they hope that it's like a slow trickle so that it gradually grows, and I think that's fair. Natter said that there's some hiccups. A lot of the non-monetary things are maybe glitching a little bit. Sorry, I have a little cold. Uh, things are not indexing properly, but he did say the money stuff appears to be working well. From our experience, the money stuff does appear to be working well. Some of the other things, indexing of some of the DAO holders don't seem to be working correctly. But overall, Natter said it still went much smoother than the BitClout launch. Um, Malsified also chimed in and he says that they expect things to be a bit rough around the edges, but they're shipping around the clock. Um, so if there are issues, they're being notified of these issues, and they have a team of developers that are working around the clock to fix them. So if you have an issue, let them know. The Discord is bumping. There's tons of people in this Discord, so you can go over there and post any issues you have, and I'm sure it will be attended to.
Yeah, there were some issues. I know we had a weird issue that took place, and it seems like we're the only ones that had this issue, where I went in this morning around 7:27 a.m. Eastern Time, and I bought some DAO coins from Supernovas and from Overcloud. I didn't buy many, I just bought some. And at that same time, our founder reward was reduced from 9.9% to 0%. So we went back and fixed our founder reward. I went in and bought some other DAOs, and it didn't happen. So I don't know, something maybe with the derived keys, it gave it permission to do something. There's a bug that changed our founder reward. I don't know. I don't know what happened. It doesn't seem like other people have had this issue, but it's just something worth noting.
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of DAOs that have launched on DAO. Besides Supernovas and Overcloud, like I mentioned, PBMC launched. It's an interesting one. Alton Base launched one. Clay Perry Music launched one. Kitty for DAO, Conchi, Ali Taraf, Illuminati, and there's a bunch. I know. You're seeing a bunch of them launch. Some are already selling their tokens. Some have already been sold. It's fun to just test it out. You can buy a 1 penny worth of DAO coins from people and just test it out. So it's kind of fun to play around with. It's been fun. There's some issues like so post if you make a post on DAO, that post also shows up on Diamond and it says this post made on DAO, but there's no context for that post, so it's a little confusing. You don't know like what DAO this post is posted under. I noticed Natter made a few posts and I'm like, okay, which DAO is he referring to? It says he posted on DAO, but I don't know which DAO he's referring to. So I think things like that need to be worked on, maybe make some better systems so on other nodes the posts show with more context. Mossify did say in Discord that they are working to improve this. I found it interesting. Zopal, he actually posted on Discord suggesting that maybe these new posts show up in individual groups. So maybe there could be groups made somehow. Mulsified said, Diamond could create like a subreddit type thing where they're more categorized that way. I think we're gonna see this
Yeah.
evolve and evolve for quite some time.
Yeah, and remember, it's in beta. There's limited access. I think right now we're going to see a problem where, since it is in beta and there is limited access, you're going to see that there's an oversupply of DAOs. So you're going to have all these DAOs launching, and probably not a whole heck of a lot of demand, not a lot of capital to pump into these DAOs. So things are going to start slow. If you're creating a DAO right now and you're not seeing much activity, be patient. Uh, I think they definitely need to work on appealing to people outside of DAO, because I don't think these DAOs themselves are going to do that right away. um, Emulsified actually replied to a post that I made saying that, and excuse me,
Brian, you're having
I
trouble talking. Let me just say something real fast. So, Brian, just stop coughing, okay? Take some cough medicine or something. So, some like I don't want to be I don't want to be pessimistic here, and I'm not. I'm very bullish on DAO, but it seems a little bit too much like Kickstarter to me. And you go to these DAOs and you don't see anything about equity, you don't see anything about governance of the DAO. I think it needs to be focused more on that. And I think it's going to be an issue with equity, because if you say that you're getting equity, then that kind of goes against that goes against the default terms of service, that you're not actually getting equity. But I think there needs to be some sort of spot within the DAO page for individual DAOs that say what you're getting in terms of equity. And maybe it doesn't have
yeah
to be called equity. Maybe it can be called something else. But like, if I'm buying supernovas, what am I getting? Am I actually getting ownership? Am I going to share in the profits? I don't know. Like, you don't know that. It just seems like these are all fundraisers. And the same goes for governance. I think there should be a section titled, like a subsection under each DAO, subtitled governance, and it kind of can explain like how the governance will work for that DAO. I also think something maybe for tokenomics, like a category for tokenomics. Maybe they can be subcategories that are expandable and collapsible. I think that would be helpful. I know some of these DAOs, I think Overcloud has links. I think Supernovas does the same thing, where they link to outside websites that explain their tokenomics. But
yeah
I think it needs to focus more on the DAO aspects of things, so people don't come on and be like, "Oh, this is just Kickstarter with cryptocurrency."
Yeah, I'm not at all criticizing the DAOs that have launched up so far, but I think that you got to like step back. Don't rush your DAO out. Step back and think about what you want to convey to your possible buyers of your DAO coins. Like, do you want to tell them how the governance works? Probably out of the gate, probably. Do you want to tell them, are they getting some sort of equity? Are they getting some sort of rights to future revenue? You got to figure that out. And if you're just posting it down, just describing your business without saying any of this, then it's going to be hard for people to really gauge on a fundamental basis, should I be buying into this DAO coin? So just take a step back. There's no need to rush a DAO out right now. In fact, I think now might be the worst time to actually post a DAO, because you have a bunch of people rushing them out and you don't have the demand yet. But Malsified, he said that he has a plan for demand. He said he said that he has a growth strategy. He said that I'll be sharing all of the growth strategies publicly in the coming weeks. And yes, bootstrapping the supply side will be critical if stars aligned. I should have an existing, I'm sorry, I should have an exciting update on this too soon. This will be a very calculated strategy and completely open and transparent. So I'm glad that Ed Mossified is working on this. I think it's important. And like I said, don't feel you have to rush into a DAO. To like really take the time to think it out. Take the time to talk to people within the community. Take the time to talk to experts, maybe even investors, and kind of understand what people want before you just rush something out, so that when you do launch it, you can launch it complete with everything you need to say.
Yeah, and I think, like that whole equity thing, I think it's a little difficult because the default terms of service basically say there's no promise of profits. You're not actually getting equity, but I think there's ways you can word it. Like, you would say you become part of the company. There's gonna be ways, and there's probably gonna be like way that
A
people
common term or
a
phrase
common
that's
term that
used.
people come up with to essentially say you become part of this DAO, and you're part, and the DAO owns the business, or the DAO owns the initiative. And I think that's really important because people coming on don't want to feel like, okay, I'm just donating to this cause, I'm not actually getting anything, or I don't have any potential to earn money from this. I think that's going to set things back a little bit. Like with Kickstarter, you at least you get a product usually. With the crowdfunding websites, you actually share in the profit. So I think people want to know, like, there is equity involved in some of these DAOs.
Yeah. So I mean, you have Kickstarter. If somebody wants to just raise money without having to give up any equity at all, Kickstarter is probably where they want to go. It's a huge audience. You also have crowdfunding platforms like WeFunder, and there's plenty of equity crowdfunding platforms where you actually do invest for equity. These are overseen by the SEC, of course, but these are mostly for accredited investors, and it's really difficult to raise money on these because you have to jump through a lot of hoops. So DAO does kind of eliminate the need for jumping through hoops. It's basically like an equity crowdfunding platform without the need to go through all the regulations and all of that, nor do the investors have to be nor do the investors have to be accredited. So I think that it's important that DAODAO take advantage of that segment of the crowdfunding market, because otherwise there's so many alternatives. And I think it's important that it's also decentralized and there's ways to better ensure that the people are doing what they're saying. You can use multi-sig wallets, have multiple people that have to sign off on transactions. So it's important as a DAO creator that you try and take advantage of these as well. These like extra incentives of using DAO over other alternatives.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think, like I said, I think this is going to evolve and evolve and evolve, and we're going to see these changes. And I think there's going to become like DAO standards, like how
Yeah.
people create their DAOs. But I do think there's some need to like organize, governance, equity, but not using the term equity, and other things that, what you get when you join this DAO. Like you're joining the DAO. I think people should feel like they're joining a DAO. They're becoming part of something.
Yeah, unlike with Kickstarter, you're actually a part, you're helping make decisions of this company or this project, and hopefully reaping the benefits of its success. So I think it's important that these DAOs just convey that. And I just want to say that we are actually going to give away 7 DSO worth of DAO coins in the next few days. Pay attention to our feed. We're going to do this because we sold an NFT yesterday, a badge NFT, and we promise to give all the proceeds to the community. So just pay attention to that. Oh, probably maybe tomorrow or this weekend, we'll do something with that.
Yeah, and I think the whole core team, Natter, Ty, Emulsified, all the developers behind the scenes, they all deserve a lot of credit for this launch. It went over very well. I'm excited for it coming out and going public. I think that's when we're gonna really be able to see like what can this thing do.
Yeah, and I already see a lot of like criticism and attacking of the team. It's this is what's to be expected in a beta launch, and the reason they're doing beta with the password lock is because it's not ready for prime time, and they want to make sure that they figure out in this beta from all of us. If you have an issue, you let them know so they can fix it. So don't be too hard on the core team. Don't be too hard on the DAO team. This is just a start. I think it's going to be a long road, and I don't expect to see any massive DAOs forming probably within the next like month or so. But I do think that as we exit this crypto winter, and I was talking to Wouter van Halen earlier, and he's mentioned this, as we exit the crypto winter, we're going to be primed for people to start getting bullish again and maybe deciding, hey, I want to launch a DAO around this, and we're going to be there. And I think that's where we're kind of trying to be where the ball is rolling maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 months from now.
Yeah. So let's move on from DAO. I think, we'll probably be talking about this for days ahead, probably for years ahead. But yesterday, if you're on Diamond app and you're viewing the hot feed, you would have noticed something kind of strange. First of all, like three of our videos were like in the top 8 posts for several hours. But what was happening was the hot feed was only showing posts that had the hashtag DSO or any hashtag with the word DSO in it. And so a lot of these posts were kind of stale, like video from 3 days ago was showing. Um, and people were like, what? Why are they doing this? This is dumb. But it turns out it was just temporary. What Time suggests it may be is that Diamond App is working on tag based feeds. So, you have the hot feed, but you could also have a DAODAO feed. You could also have a sports feed. You could also have a Bitcoin feed. You could have feeds based on different hashtags. And maybe, I don't know how it would work, but maybe it would just be linked hashtags on the side. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think as we move forward, I think this is definitely something that we need. It kind of segments things better. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, having a Diamond app hot feed kind of messed up isn't ideal, but just bear with everything. We're progressing. We're making progress as a community. It just takes time. There's going to be some bugs along the way.
Yes, and bear with Brian's cough while you're bearing with other things.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I really am. So Altum Base Nikolai contacted me this morning and he let me know that they've added a new tool that lists all the top DAO investors. He's going to be adding more information today and tomorrow. So there's going to be more data added to that. You can get to it on altumbase.com/DAO, DAO, DAO. Um, Also, you should note that this data does not include investors of the DAO. It's all the other DAOs.
Interesting. And of course, Alton Base launched a DAO too, so they're very involved in the DAO aspects of DSO. In other news, Apollio says they're launching soon, and they are offering a free $3,000 website to 10 people who join their waitlist. The first 10 people who join their waitlist. Apollio is a marketing type tool created by Grace Baseme, Sandy Rose, and Lisa Mariette. So definitely check that out. And if you're looking for a free $3,000 website, join their waitlist and you'll get one.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what this becomes. I don't know too much about them, but I think we'll all find out pretty soon.
Great people behind the project, though.
Definitely.
And the top hashtags from the last 24 hours, Brian, were
Number one was sorry, it wasn't cough. It was DSO. Number two was DAO. Uh, I wonder why. Number three was NFT, followed by crypto, and then Bitcoin. So there's a lot of talk about DAO, obviously. I think that probably the next few weeks are going to be filled with DAO talk, and that's a good thing.
yeah, it's a hashtag. I think we'll see. Like, do these hashtags keep up? I think once we get some kind of sorting by hashtag or a hashtag feed or a hashtag list on Diamond app that's clickable, I think ultimately that's going to get people using hashtags more
Yeah,
often.
definitely. So the top diamonded creators of the last 24 hours, before I have another coughing fit, thanks to Outcome Base, Krasenstein, we were number one, followed by MTK Matt, followed by Tyne, Natter, Verashika, Stargazer, MP3, Mario Nawfall, Sean Slater, and Photographer's Corner. So congrats to all of them. Uh, Keep posting.
What's MTK Matt doing? He's up there every day now.
I don't know. I mean, he's the one doing the marathon, right?
Yeah, he's the one. So if you haven't checked out MTK Matt's NFT, you can buy his NFT. You're basically donating for him to join this marathon, get a whole running suit, DSO branded with your name on it. So definitely take part in that if you can. A lot of people have already actually done it. So I know NFTZ is his main sponsor for this. We're excited about that. But everybody, have a great day, and I think that's all we have for today, and
I
we'll
gotta
talk to
go
you.
get some cough medicine.
Yes, get some Robitussin, Brian. We'll talk to you tomorrow.